Hi, and welcome along to the Invincible podcast with my man Lee Judges, brought to you today by Who Knows Wins, the brilliant app. Listen, don't forget, you can win this week a £10,000 prize pot. 10 grand. Last week, right, I got to talk about last week because there was 3 people that got 10 out of 10. Got all of them right. And they won £1,679 each. Big up going out to Baggy Panuccio 1989, Pedro and Vernon Morenz 82 for winning. Fantastic. I mean, those 3 got all of them right. And this week, again, as I said, the prize pot is 10 grand. That is what the prize pot is. Remember, you guys got to click the link in the description below and download the Who Knows Wins app. Deposit £5. That's all you got to put in to enter. And all you got to do is pick your 10 predictions. We're also going to be giving away an Arsenal shirt of your choice, home, away. You can get that. And all you got to do is just enter the AFTV league, right? So, wow, they did well. What are you looking at? Yeah, go on, get it out. Get it out. I know you've been waiting. You beat me.
I did beat you. I got 7 out of 10, which is pretty good.
Did you get 7 out of 10?
7 out of 10, yeah. So what did you get? 5? Better 5, right? And it added to my prize fund of now of £28.50. How much are you on the old prize fund?
Well, I was on a minus, and the guys from Who Knows Wins. very nicely.
Sorry for you and give you a donation.
To enable me to play this week. They topped me up,
you can't write. I reckon you should be.
You're getting a little run of a couple of games and you're shooting off your mouth. You know what I mean?
Like Robbie Tottenham Hotspur. You should be like.
Yeah, be careful with that. Be careful.
Like, having to get a charity fund now to keep you playing.
Robbie Chelsea, then. We're going to touch on that today, actually.
His assets are frozen.
We are going to touch on that, but just before we do that, let me just go through my picks for this week, right? Because I really do need a good
And then, if you do go through his picks, go for different ones because he never wins.
You're funny. I'm going for... right, so prize pot of 10 grand. I've gone for Brentford to win at home against Burnley.
I've gone the other way. I've gone Burnley to win that.
Have you?
Yeah.
Coventry, I've gone to beat Sheffield United. Man United, Tottenham. What did you go for in that?
I don't know. I just got this. I've become a Red Devil for a weekend, like, you know what I mean. I want Man United.
You rather than win?
Rather than Spurs.
Draw would be a better result. Because draw, if we win our game and they draw, that's like they're going to get 2 points
dropped to each. Yeah, but like, if any team's going to win, I want it to be Man United. So I have actually gone for Man United. They cannot be as bad as what they were last week.
Well, I don't know, man. I think they can be. I've gone for a draw.
So you've gone for what you want, not what you think.
Yeah. Luton to win.
No money in his prize pot. There is a reason.
Chelsea to win. Everton to draw against Wolves.
How bad were they in Everton?
They were shocking, man. And that's why I've gone for a draw, because I'm like, they can't be as bad as that again. Leeds to win against Norwich. Southampton, Watford are controversially gone for a draw here. Based off of what I saw from Watford last week, they weren't bad.
I thought I was impressed with Watford.
They weren't bad. They can't defend though, but they weren't bad. West Ham, I've gone for Villa to beat West Ham.
I've gone for a West Ham win, but go and explain to me.
I've done a little bit. I'm putting a little bit more research into
Sherlock
it.
Holmes here. He's gone for a bit of detective work.
They've got a very difficult away game at Sevilla. You know what I mean?
Right. I didn't take that into account.
You didn't take that into account, and I've gone for an Arsenal win. Also, looking into the fact, and we'll talk about this later on. Leicester, very difficult away game. Actually, I'm not sure if they're away at home.
They're playing tonight, aren't they?
They're playing against Rennes, a very good team in the French league. Big Europa League, Conference League game for them. So, based off of all those facts, I've put them all in this. So, expect to see a much better performance by me this week.
He might be up a pound.
I fancy myself to beat you this week, for sure.
You said that last week, So.
Anyway, the link is in the description, and get involved in that. And also, just download the app right now. Who Knows Wins. You know what? The theme of today's show is: does Chelsea's problems help Arsenal? Now, unless as a football fan you're living under a rock, you would have heard the news that Roman Abramovich, the owner of Chelsea Football Club, has been sanctioned because of the war in Ukraine. He's been sanctioned. He's been trying to sell the club, but now this is very, very serious for Chelsea. Just to run you through what, you know, a couple of the implications when it comes to this, right? They've been given a special license to even just to operate. So I think under normal circumstances, when you get sanctioned, all your assets just get frozen and that's it, right? So, but because, you know, the government look on it and they say, you know, it's a cultural asset, Chelsea, they've given them a special license so that they can continue to operate, or we really would be in the Save the Bridge category all over again.
Buckets, right? Buckets out, Chelsea fans, buckets out.
Right, excuse me. Chelsea are able to pay the wages of all their employees, including their players and coaching staff. They can pay reasonable costs of travel to and from fixtures, not exceeding £20,000 per game per team. So, you know, amazing. I'm thinking to myself, Chelsea, you know, if obviously they're going to beat Lille next round of the Champions League. If they're, I don't know, they're away at Bayern Munich, they won't be flying first class, will they? Might have to take Ryanair.
Might have to swim the channel.
Right. They can pay reasonable costs towards hosting fixtures, not exceeding £500,000 per fixture. Fans who bought season tickets or individual match tickets before the 10th of March can attend games. But what this means, Lee, right, two things actually is important in this. Their games from now till the end of the season, only season ticket holders will be able to attend. And I think they've got 28,000 season ticket holders. They're not going to be able to sell any tickets on the day.
Right.
Right? It means there'll be no away fans as well. I don't know if they're maybe going to do something on that time of doing this show. There'll be no away fans because they're basically what they're saying is you guys are not allowed to make no money that will go into Abramovich's pocket, right? So you can't have fans come in, apart from the people who've already bought their tickets, the season ticket holders. The broadcasters are still going to be able to broadcast their fixtures and they'll still get the money for that. But yeah, I mean, this is very, very serious implications. And as I said, 28,000 season ticket holders. They've got a capacity of 41,837. They can't also, at the moment, as things stand, they won't be able to do no transfers in the summer. They're not even allowed to renegotiate any of their contracts at the moment. So, you know, obviously at the moment they've got Rudiger, Christensen, Aspilicueta, all of their contracts running out. I think Kante, Jorginho, they've only got like a year left. They should really be negotiating theirs for the, you know, it's an absolute mess. They're not allowed at the moment to even sell the club. Because if they sell the club, and we saw Abramovich was trying to rush and sell it, if they sell the club, the money might go into his pocket, although he did say, Abramovich, that he was going to make any profit made go towards, you know, anybody who's suffered from, you know, as a result of the war. But as a lot of people pointed out at the time, he didn't state which side. Whether, you know, does that just go to Russian people or does that go to Ukrainians? And, you know, so it's frozen, basically. I mean, when I look at it, I think to myself, what will probably happen? And sorry, just to say, he's not allowed to sell the club right now. All that is, there was a deadline of next week, Tuesday, which everybody had to get their bids in. All of that's been shut off now. He's not allowed to sell the club. Now, probably what will happen, or what they're probably allowed to happen, and there's still things coming out regarding it, is they're probably going to, at some stage, allow the club to be sold, right? Because as they said, it's a cultural asset. They're fully aware that it's going to be affecting Chelsea fans and stuff like that. And the Premier League are going to want guarantees and stuff like that. But when they do sell that club, the government are going to be heavily involved in that. They're going to want to make sure that not one penny goes to Roman Abramovich because they think he's too close to Putin, right? So all these big figures about, you know, they were talking about selling a club, that's probably going to be remove the. I mean, the valuation of the club's going to come right down. I mean, if you're buying the club, I mean, they're not even allowed, Lee, at the moment to sell merchandise. They've had to close the club shop.
Yeah.
Some of their sponsors are getting itchy feet and are talking about pausing their deals and stuff like that. I know Free was one of those companies who sponsor their shirts, but they're not even allowed to sell merchandise at their club shop. I mean, it's an absolute mess and a bit of a disaster for Chelsea. And I'm asking this question now, right? We look at Arsenal, we look at the progress we're starting to make over the last couple seasons under Mikel Arteta. We've all been very critical of the owners not putting money in and moaning and that. But the last season, they put 150 million in for transfers. They've been getting rid of players, so basically running like our club should run. You know what I mean? Like moving players out so they can have the funds in order to... That's what Chelsea are going to have to do in the future. And we will be ahead of them now with the way in which we've been doing our dealings. All right, they'll still have some of those players left. I mean, what player's going to want to come to Chelsea right now?
No one.
With the mess that they're in. So does this give Arsenal a chance now to, when you start to look at next season, the top four, for instance, or any chance of challenging for the title? I mean, I remember at the start of this season, everybody was just like, Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, and Man United had a chance. I don't think Chelsea might not be in that next year.
I think everything's changed now. I think, players go to Chelsea for one thing, didn't they? The financial gain and the chance to win trophies and everything like that. Well, that may not be there no more. QPR will be liking this because they're going to be the biggest club in West London. So, you know what I mean? So, let alone London. It's got implications all the way around. The Premier League, fairness to the Premier League. Is it fair that Chelsea can play all their home games without Arsenal, without away fans, when realistically it's not the away fans or anything that's done anything wrong? Yeah. So I think that's something they're going to have to look at.
They'll probably look at, I don't know if maybe, obviously the Premier League have got to talk to the government. As I said at the time of doing this programme, that is a situation. Yeah. No away fans. Now, if the Premier League maybe allows in away fans for... Maybe they don't pay anything or something. I don't know, because the reason why they don't want no away fans is because they don't want any of that money. They're not allowed to generate money that's going to go into Abramovich.
They're going to have to sort something out for that. I think I was listening to it on the radio today, like a fund that could go there so that Abramovich can't touch it or something. You cannot say to Chelsea, because of what's happened, right, you can still have all your season ticket holders into the ground and no away fans.
But even that's only 28,000, so you're looking like a half full. Well, just over a half full stadium.
Exactly, and also it's not fair on the Premier League that have had fans from other clubs playing there, having away fans. So the fairness and the integrity of the league is at stake here, because at the end of the day, you're now saying to teams that have not been to Stamford Bridge, right, you can't have fans going no more. So there's an advantage for the teams that have been there before and not ever. I think it's a complete and utter mess. But listen, the Premier League have got they've got a real problem on their hands, which they've caused by allowing Abramovich in the first place to come to this. We was just talking it off air, let all this sort of stuff go. It took a war to now for them to do what they've got to do, and the sanctions now. I don't really know what's going to happen. I just think that Chelsea are in a worse state now than probably when they was about to go bust before Abramovich come in. I don't know. The thing is, they've gone back to where they were.
I think the club will get sold. Listen, it's the name of Chelsea. Obviously, it's still a worldwide brand. It will get sold. Somebody else will take it over. But I said it on the show last week, it's not going to be a Roman Abramovich, and there's not going to be another Abramovich. I think this is something that's going to be quite significant in football, I think, in the Premier League, in that we're not going to see a guy like Roman Abramovich again, where it's basically a sugar daddy who's taken over a club, who's financed everything, right? You know what I mean? Remember, Chelsea, no club in Premier League history has lost as much money.
Yeah, they operate a loss, don't they?
Yeah, as Chelsea, and it's all been underwritten by Roman Abramovich, right? Those days are over. That brings Chelsea back into normality. They're not going to be able to do what they've been doing over there. Even you look at the past few years, right? They bought Timo Werner, £60 million? He didn't work out, right? They're able to still keep him.
And buy Lukaku.
Right, because they probably, they know if they try and sell him, it's going to be half that amount. And go and buy Lukaku for 100 million. They've been able to do things like, Kepa, the most expensive keeper in the world.
Don't even play.
He doesn't even play. Which other club could possibly do that? No one. No. It's all been underwritten by Roman Abramovich, and that is all going to cease now. And I think, Arsenal, who over the past, year in particular, I'd look at, you're starting to see where they're bringing through young players. They've, because we've had a big crisis where we've had all these high earners, aging high earners, where we've had to let players go for nothing. And look how we felt that. Chelsea have been able to do that for years and just, it means nothing.
Yeah.
But with us, we felt it. We we're all here moaning, say, how have we allowed that to happen? How have we allowed Mustafi to leave? We paid 35 million for him. We got nothing for him. How have we allowed this player, Ozil, to leave for nothing? How have we allowed the whole thing with Aubameyang? And now the club, they've gone through a lot of pain, Arsenal, in trying to get rid of a load of those players. Have had to bring in a new profile of players, which is like young players that they know that if they do have to sell them, they're on long contracts, they can make a profit off them, running like a profitable business, running like a sustainable business. That's what Chelsea are going to have to do. And it's going to take them a long time to have to sort out that mess, even if a new owner comes in. So I just, it's big problems for Chelsea. And at the moment, as I said, they can't sign no players as it stands in the summer.
And what I can understand, I don't know if anybody can enlighten me on this. So if Abramovich sells, he's not allowed to get a penny from it. So
not allowed to get a penny.
He might just say, I'm not going to sell then and just let it go into
but then
oblivion. Can he not do that?
I guess he could do, but then I reckon they just seize it and they just say, right, you know what, we're going to hand it over to maybe a trust or something and make them run it. Because I don't think, listen, they're not going to make Chelsea Football Club crash. Right, they know the input. As I said, they said already, it's a cultural asset.
So what happens to his house now then?
Everything's frozen.
Yeah, so
everything.
So no one. It just stays.
Just sit there. Everything is frozen. He's not like with his house. He's not allowed to sell that house.
Well, squatters will be coming knocking on the door in the next few days.
Might be some of the players.
Yes, yeah.
But listen,
I know where there's a nice house we can squat for a little while.
No, literally, everything is frozen. That's what they've been doing to all the Russian oligarchs. They kind of have been looking like they didn't really want to, I think they knew the significance of Chelsea Football Club, but there's been a lot of pressure, governmental pressure and stuff like that, and now they've come after him. All his assets are frozen, hence why he was trying to sell it as quickly as he was. But they've looked on it and they said, no, you ain't selling this club for no 3 billion or whatever it is, and we don't trust you to, give that money to where you're saying no. He's tried two things. Remember, at first he tried to put it into a trust. The people who said he's putting it into a trust for didn't hardly even know anything about it. Yeah. Then I think this is an opportunity for Arsenal. I really do. I want to hear from everybody in the comments. I really think this could be now.
Could he actually give it to someone? He can't even do that now.
No. It's frozen. It's gone. It's gone until like.
Could he have done that a week ago? Just said like, I'm giving it to you, Robbie. Like,
I guess he could have done, but I think that would have been so obvious they would have come after it and just froze it. Because remember, if they would have seen anything like that, they would have just probably said, "No, we know what you're up to, frozen," right? But now they've come now and they said it's frozen anyway. So all of those, as I said, I still think the club will probably get sold. But what type of a Chelsea is going to be left? It's not going to be the same Chelsea as before.
What about all that merchandise? Are they going to give that away at charity, or is that just going to stay in the shop? eBay's going to have a great day, isn't it?
The merchandise in the shop can't be sold until the only time that merchandise in the shop will be able to be sold is when somebody else, if a new owner comes, takes it over.
It's incredible, really.
It is incredible. It is incredible what's going on. And
it's got to have an impact on everybody, the players and everything now. Because if you're a player now, you know that Chelsea Football Club is not going to be the same from now on.
No. It's not the same Chelsea. So like you said, listen, a lot of football players, all right, yeah, there's the money, there's that aspect of it as well. But there's also, remember, footballers, there's a couple of things. They're looking for a team that's winning.
Of course,
that's
they never
gonna win
dreamed
trophies,
about playing for Chelsea.
Yeah, so they're going to go. They want to all go and play for Chelsea to win trophies because you were guaranteed, almost in it, as a footballer, that at some stage, if you're playing for Chelsea, you're going to win some sort of trophy. That's gone now because they're now being brought back now to a level playing field. And also, you know, footballers are human beings. They have families, they have wives, they have children, they have extended families, right? And they don't want uncertainty. You know what I mean? If you're a big player and you move into a club, you don't want to go to a club where there's loads of turmoil
They won't be able
around
to
it.
get sold though, will they? Say if you're Lukaku, how are you going to get out? You've got a contract of 4 years, right? And you're not allowed to get sold.
Can't, yeah.
So you're going to stay there for 4 years until your contract.
Well, I guess maybe.
I know that ain't going to happen.
I guess if it came down to it, they could cancel contracts and stuff like that. But
they're going to have to sell players.
Players like Lukaku now, they're stuck with. It can't be the usual Chelsea things that they've done over the years, which is just underwrite any loss.
Yeah, what I'm saying, the new owner's going to come in, Robbie. Like he can sell. What he'll do is he ain't to get funds now. They'll have to sell Lukaku for say 50 million because it ain't.
He's not going to get 100 million for him.
Yeah, but he's not losing that 50 million, is it? Because that 50 million's already been paid for. So
well, no, he is losing that 50 million because he's still got to balance the books, and the books from the previous guy is what you're going to be taking on. So yes, you would still be losing.
So it'd be the same set of books that you. So whoever comes are going to have to cut their cloth accordingly, then, aren't they?
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. They're going to have to run just like how we run,
so
just like
our
West Ham runs, just like our Spurs runs. That's how they're going to have to run, and like a proper.
So they're going to have to sell players or give them away and go down a different policy of like youth.
Different policy, and that's what I'm saying. We're ahead of them when you think about it, right? Because we're bringing through youth. We're the process to we've been asked to trust that some people have been scathing of, other people have been saying trust it. Well, actually, it's a process, right, that we're following at the moment. I think we can see with Arsenal at the moment that there's been a lot of improvements in the squad. We've brought in some players that, you're right, they may not have been your Lukaku's 100 million and stuff like that. When Chelsea fans were saying to us, well, look, we bought him, we bought Werner, we've bought, all these different players. All right, we weren't been able to go out and buy those type of players, but we've been able to go out and buy certain players. We bring through our young players. As I said, we've moved on certain high earners and things like that. This summer, Arsenal will be looking to go again in the transfer market. It could be, going into next season, we've got a much stronger team than Chelsea. They're going to be losing a lot of their Rudiger will be gone, I think. Christensen will be gone.
Well, they can't stay there, can they?
Aspilicueta will be gone, and I think there'll be a few other players in there thinking, you know what, and they may have to sell it. Somebody like a Kante with a year left, they can't afford to. They're coming into our territory now, where they can't afford to let Kante just walk away for nothing.
Yeah. So they're back to normal.
So they're going to have to, start talking to Kante about selling him. And as things stands at the moment, they can't even sit down with a player and renegotiate a contract, let alone buying anyone. All of that is frozen.
It's unreal, isn't it?
Get your money out, Chelsea fans. It is time to save the bridge.
Well, the other thing is, there's a lot of Chelsea fans now looking at the map, seeing how far it is to Manchester City and Newcastle, wouldn't they? I
want to ask you this question because I heard this question being put. Chelsea fans ain't going to like it. Arsenal fans will like it. Many other fans will use it. Roman Abramovich has been in charge for 20 years. That's where the major success at Chelsea has come. I remember a Chelsea fan the other day was showing me like their trophy cabinet, and it was impressive. Premier League titles, the World Club Cup. About a month ago, Abramovich was there with that cup, lifting over his head in Dubai. Champions League, 2 of them. Europa League. Is that all tainted, Lee? Is that all tainted because that has been bought now? This is what the government more or less are saying, is that Roman Abramovich's money is tainted money because of his association with Vladimir Putin. And basically that is why they're freezing his assets. They're saying that, listen, you are a guy that are closely associated with that regime, and basically that's dirty money, and that's why we're freezing it.
So
do you look on it, especially when you look at how he's done it, how he's underwritten everything, is those league titles, are those Champions Leagues, Europa Leagues, World Club Cup, is it tainted?
I think it's always been tainted, if I'll be honest. I think, like, for me, when Liverpool won the Champions League or they won the league and all that, I've always thought, well, that's an achievement. When I look at Chelsea winning it, I just think, oh, they've just bought it. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little bit like the same with Manchester City. I don't think their achievement is in the same league as, say, if Liverpool were to win a league or Manchester United to win a league, Arsenal, Leicester, you know. Because if you look at it, Robbie, like, Newcastle have never won anything in my lifetime. Now they've got the money. Let's see how many things they win the next few years. And same with Chelsea. Chelsea have never won the league in my lifetime, and all of a sudden they're serial winners now. So there's always been that tainted thing. But what really is amazing me is that the Premier League have allowed it to happen, and only just stopped it now. When what we just spoke about in the last 10, 15 minutes, it's shocking, really, isn't it? You know, I do think that there is a little bit. Chelsea fans won't see it that way because, you know, they've had 20 years of greatness, and they're going to go back to being. Listen, when I first started following football, Chelsea were up and down like a yo-yo. They was relegated and, like, you know, in the second division.
I remember it. Chelsea were like
playing in front of cars, supporters.
I said to one of my Chelsea mates, a lot young Chelsea fan, right? Probably he's probably under 30, right? I said it to him. I go, yo, you back in the day, you were not bigger than West Ham in my books. I thought West Ham in those days would probably sometimes I'd have thought West Ham were a bigger club, right? I said to him, you were no bigger than them clubs. So Arsenal, the biggest clubs in London when I was growing up were Arsenal, followed by Spurs.
Then West Ham.
Then Chelsea. I agree with you. And it's like, no. I go, no, listen, I'm talking about, you know, that's facts. It's Abramovich's money that has turned Chelsea into the massive club that they are. Are those trophies tainted? I mean, I really want to ask people out there. And I mean, I know a lot of fans are going to be using it against Chelsea, but is it tainted?
Listen, I look at West Ham. West Ham at Upton Park was always packed. I can remember. Always. Chelsea's never been like that. Yeah, have a look at the old pictures of Chelsea. I showed you one earlier on, like, you know what I mean? A car park. Yeah. It used to be a car park.
Save the bridge pictures and all stuff like that.
It was empty around the stadium. It was just this one big stand, and you know, it was completely. You know, it wasn't. Chelsea weren't the biggest club and all that. Like, you know, like they was, you know, competing for the FA Cup every now and then. When Ken Bates was in charge, but they wasn't ever looking like winning titles and things like that. But they'd win the odd cup.
They were about to go bust. Let's not forget. I mean, the Chelsea Football Club were about to go bust, and then Roman Abramovich has come in, and he's underwritten it, and for years and years and years, and they've been very successful. But the model that he's deployed, nobody else could deploy.
There's a massive debate, right? And there is a massive debate that Chelsea are a bigger club than Arsenal. Well, we'll see how big they are now.
I don't think so. I've always thought that Arsenal, you know, even with their success, Arsenal are a bigger club, right? I think now we're going to really see. Now it's going to be. Now things are going to come back on a level playing field.
Let's see how big they are.
Let's see how big Chelsea really are, because they're going to have to start operating like Arsenal do, like Tottenham do, like West Ham do.
And one of the biggest things they've got, and I know this for a fact, they've gained a lot of fans. When everybody goes, oh, we've gained fans from worldwide, they've gained fans through success and winning.
Through success.
So see where these fans are when you're middle of the table and you're not winning games and you're losing to teams that you should be winning or you've been winning all the time. See how different the game is. Now, Arsenal fans like us, we've seen it all. We've seen the bad times. I don't know if anybody's watching at the moment, like Match of the Day Revisited. It's 1982 now, like, you know, it's painful. It's painful. John Hawley up front, painful, right? But we've gone through that, Robbie.
Yeah.
And then we've gone through the success of George Graham and the dip of George Graham, the success of Wenger, the dip of Wenger. We have gone through what I think most football clubs go through. And if you have a look at the teams, even Manchester United and Liverpool have gone through ups and downs, a roller coaster.
Liverpool, up until the other day when they won the title,
they've not had the money.
They'd never won the title in the Premier League.
No. So, but with Chelsea and Manchester City, because they're allowed to pay. Listen, people go on about Man City and how great Pep is. Like, you know what I mean? He bought Ake for £30 million. Wasn't cracking it, so he went and bought Diaz in the same season.
Yeah, that's what it allows you to do.
That's what it allows you to do. It allows you to think, we don't have to worry about whether we make a mistake. Now, Arsenal can't afford to make that mistake, and I'm really sorry, nor can Liverpool and nor can Manchester United. Manchester United have made mistake after mistake in the transfer window, but they've not been able to rectify it. They've spent 80 million on Maguire. They're not a club that then, Maguire's not working, we're going and buy a Diaz and we're going and buy somebody else. They've had to persist
with Maguire. And if ultimately it doesn't work out, they're going to have to sell Maguire and take a massive hit.
Yeah, and
right? Like what we've had to do over the years.
Which affects them.
Exactly, it affects you going forward. And that's what I'm saying. Because of Arsenal now, we're kind of getting ourselves in gear. We've not got those type of players around now that are loss-making players and things like that. We're starting to emerge from out of that sort of...
But we still can't make mistakes, Robbie, in the transfer.
We can't make mistakes, but is this going to push us ahead of Chelsea? Because this mess for Chelsea now is going to be... Even the new guy who comes to take over is going to be inheriting a mess. And he is not going to be... They're not going to be allowed to run it like how Roman Abramovich did it. Roman Abramovich, the COVID... that has stricken every club and has meant that every club, Arsenal the other day came out speaking about how many hundreds of millions of pounds have been lost, and they equated a lot of that money, a lot of that loss, to the fact that we had COVID, right? And we didn't have fans in grounds and that. Roman Abramovich just underwrit that.
Yeah, exactly.
They ain't got no loss. Yeah. He just said, here's a check, boom. That covers all that. That's gone now. Chelsea will operate like how we do.
I just got off the train and a Spurs fan come up to me and said, "Oh, this is good news for not only Arsenal but Spurs as well."
It is.
So it is. Everybody's thinking it now, what I mean?
It is.
And I'll tell you where it's better because I was looking at next season, maybe not next season, but definitely the season after, and it could happen next season. Newcastle are going to come into the equation, so all of a sudden you've got five big powerhouses going for 4 places. Now you're knocking that one out. Newcastle, it's still not. Arsenal still got to be at their best to overcome a Manchester City, a Newcastle, because I still think now they're going to be coming into the equation. Manchester United and Liverpool and Arsenal now. It's going to be a real battle. Chelsea, I'm going to tell you this now. If Chelsea have not got the money, like the Abramovich, Chelsea will be 5th, 6th, happy to get into the Conference League and all that, because I'm telling you, no, they will.
I'm telling you, normality.
It's normality, because they won't be able to do what they're doing, you know what I mean? Chelsea will be back to where Chelsea were before all of this happened. And I'll go back to 2002. Yes, they got to the cup final and we beat them, and they won the cup in '99. But you never would have put Chelsea down as winning the title.
Chelsea were nowhere near the title.
Be honest, he wasn't.
Chelsea was not a team you spoke about with titles.
They started changing the title once.
Champions League, they won it twice. They won it last year, remember?
Well, they would never have won the Champions League.
I think in years to come now, it's going to be a massive challenge for them. But listen, that's down to them. But I think it's good news in a way for Arsenal.
Can I ask a question? It don't bother me.
It doesn't bother me, but the only thing it bothers me in.
It bothers me. I want to go stand for a bridge and wait Ramon. That's the only thing it bothers me with.
It doesn't bother me because I think, listen, that club's never run in the right way. And over the years, when people have said it, you've always been shot down, and Chelsea fans have shot you down. And I think those Chelsea fans the other day now, I was thinking about this as well, Lee, when I was driving in there today. Those Chelsea fans at Burnley the other day, who when they had that minute's applause was singing Roman Abramovich's name, I was thinking to myself, were them sort of some, sort of the government people.
Yeah, listening to that.
Looking at that and thinking, are you serious? People who are not really that affiliated with football and just thought to themselves, is that what you lot think? Right, we're freezing everything. That certainly didn't help Are they going to be singing his name now?
No, they'd be singing
Because,
Ice Chelsea. Ice Chelsea. They'd be singing that. Oh, look, listen.
I think you just started a new chant.
They have got to let away fans in at that game because, we've had a lot of agony from them, so...
oh, my gosh. Anyway, listen, we got a game to look ahead to this weekend. Leicester...
away fans, Leicester fans, you're allowed to come to the Emirates.
You're going to enjoy this, aren't you?
Listen, they've given us a lot of stick over the years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Taking Cashley Cole off of us and things like that. You know what I mean?
He nearly crashed his car.
You know what I mean?
I wonder what's going on. Steady how you're driving today, Ashley.
He wouldn't be going and wanting to go Chelsea now, would he? You know what I mean? So I think it's listen. They've had a great time, Chelsea fans, and they've given it, but it's, Do you know
what, when you think about it, it is tarnished in a way, because even, I was thinking the other day when John Terry posted that picture of him and Abramovich and the backlash that he got, anything, I mean, what they're going to do, you have to erase Abramovich out of their history.
Well, that'd be hard to do, that will, because he is their history. If I'll be honest, you know what I mean? Do you remember that time we went to Chelsea when we'd done that charity walk and they let us into the ground?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? And we went through a tunnel. It went 1950. What was their title win? And it went dunk, 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 and then it went to win Abramovich. Nothing. It's completely changed, and it's going to go back to that, So
wow. We got a game this weekend. Leicester, at home, critical game.
Massive.
Massive game. Spurs the other night.
Oh.
Battering Everton. Thank you, Everton. Dele Alli and his cohorts turned up and got absolutely spanked.
Toughies.
They got chewed up, I'll tell you that. Chewed up. 5-0. So they're back in it. Off the back of that.
Yeah,
result,
because West Ham and Man United lost, didn't they? So that puts them back in it. But
again, Lee, this weekend's a big opportunity for Arsenal. Manchester United playing Tottenham. One of those two teams that are in the race for the top four with us are going to drop points, if not both of them. I mean, my perfect scenario in that game would be a draw. Arsenal have got to capitalise on it as well. When you look at this game, the funny thing about I was looking at this game as well, this is where I always been looking at it and think Arsenal might have a chance of this top four this season. It's almost like a role reversal. Leicester playing in the Conference League against Rennes. Tough game. Arsenal, no game.
Yeah, I think it's
chilled, relaxed. There's even, I think Vardy might be out.
Yeah, he's out.
He's injured. We know that Leicester have had injuries all season and they've been really struggling, coping with Thursday. We ain't got that. We've just got Sunday. We're just relaxed after last week's Sunday's game where we performed really well, and our feet up, ready for this Leicester game. Normally, in years gone by, it's been the other way around.
Yeah.
Arsenal are away somewhere, and then Leicester are waiting on us, all relaxed. This is a big chance to keep that run going, Lee.
100%, and it is a massive game, and this is one we've got to win. Don't forget we've got Liverpool on Wednesday as well, so that's another massive game. Liverpool, played in Europe this week. They've played. They've got to play at the weekend again. Under pressure, So I think these two games are massive. We have to beat Leicester. Have to beat them, and if we can beat Leicester, we know what's happened with the Man United Tottenham game before that. We go there, so whatever happens, there'll be a bit of pressure on us, and that's what we've got to overcome, that little bit of pressure. Listen, there's going to be pressure now moving into every game, so we've got to get the result. Vardy's got a knee injury. I know how he feels, with a knee injury, so he ain't going to be about.
Not if it's like your knee injury, yeah.
So
I think he's got a bit of doctors.
I think he's got a bit. He's got he's got more treatment every day.
Yeah, a bit more than a Nurofen.
Yeah. And he don't have to walk everywhere he goes. You know what I mean? So before he gets a lift. But so seriously, I think listen, Arsenal are doing what they're doing. I thought, going back to the Watford game last night, I thought we played really well. Yeah. I'm going to say that now. I thought it was 3-2 wasn't really, because we didn't probably defend as well as we should have done. But I felt that was the most. I sat there really enjoying.
Lovely football, great
goals.
I
really sat there, not nervous about the game. until the last couple of minutes. I must
Yeah,
admit,
you were nervous after the first 30 odd seconds.
Well, yeah, I thought, but then we got the goal. Even when they scored the equaliser, you could sense we was going to open them up. I thought it was. I really enjoyed the performance. I'm going to have to say.
I'm enjoying watching Arsenal at the moment.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. Like, you know, it'd be a difficult game on Sunday with a little bit of pressure, like, you know. But if we can get the goal up and if we start playing that sort of football, I think that it takes the pressure off the fans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're thinking, well, yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing here and all that. Like, I did some of the football, by the way, was brilliant. Brilliant. And
I thought Martin Odegaard again.
Oh,
he's looking really good at the moment, isn't he?
Really, really good. Confidence up.
Yeah, he's looking good. I thought Partey in the midfield as well. Really liked his performance, and Saka.
Wow.
Brilliant. Martinelli's goal, brilliant. You know, and remember, you know, I mean, this is a team still missing Smith Rowe, still missing Tomiyasu. You know, it's playing really well at the moment.
Yeah.
The team looks like a team. It's cohesive.
Do you know another thing? I know what you just turned around and said there, which is a great point. We're getting the rest of it, but when you're winning these games, and I think this is another good thing that I'm liking. We're winning games, and then we're having a break of 10 days. A week and still coming back and playing really well.
Yeah,
sometimes
because they're on the training ground and they're working on things. You can see it. I mean, you can see by the intricacies of some of the passing and some of the
that's what we wanted to see, weren't we?
Yeah, so you can see it and they're able to hone it. And then the thing is, they're not racking up injuries.
No,
because they haven't got like Leicester, who've got to go and play Rennes in a really tough game. Rennes are a good team. Leicester are going to have to go for that because Leicester, basically, that's the only trophy that they can, they've got no chance of the top four, I don't think. They're out of all the trophies apart from the Conference League. Brendan Rodgers will prioritise that. So, again, it's a great opportunity for Arsenal. And if we can get a win, like you said, going into that game against Liverpool, I think we've got a chance in that game as well. I really do, Lee. I saw Liverpool last couple of games. I think they're slightly off it at the moment. Now, don't get me wrong. A slightly off it Liverpool are still a brilliant Liverpool. Yeah. But I saw the game against West Ham. West Ham should have got at least a draw in that game.
They opened them up on a couple
missed
of
so
occasions.
many chances, right? They lost to Inter. All right, they still went through, but they lost on the night. And there's going to be a lot of pressure on Liverpool. Well, remember, Liverpool go into that game with the same amount of pressure as Arsenal. They can't afford to slip up because they're going for the league.
Yeah, they can't afford to draw, Robbie.
Listen, we know that Liverpool are a much better team than us as things currently stand, right? And they've got a great squad. I have to say, they have really got a great squad, so they can rotate and stuff like that. But we got a chance. We're at home.
That's
in order to go into that Liverpool game with a chance, I feel we have to beat Leicester.
Yeah, and we'll keep Leicester. The confidence going. That'd be 5 wins out of 5, and then going against Liverpool and give it a go. I'm with you. I'm going to. How can I say this? I'm going to Sunday's game against Leicester, expecting Arsenal to win and expecting a performance. I'm going to the game against Liverpool, believing that we've got a chance. Not expecting, but believing we've got a chance of beating them.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Where in the past, I'm thinking
we're just going.
That's true. That's the difference that we've gone from now. We have gone down that route.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I'm expecting to beat Liverpool, but I'm believing we can win. And if we do beat them, I wouldn't say it was a shock.
Oh, I don't know, it wouldn't be a shock.
No, it wouldn't be a shock if we beat them. I think we've got a very good chance.
We've got a chance, I think to have a chance, we've got to beat Leicester. And I think remember, I think one of our best performances this season away from home was at Leicester. Remember that first half that we were brilliant in that half, right? And we totally blew Leicester away. And as I said, I really do feel that only having to play the one game,
is going to help us.
Has really helped us. Has really
especially
helped
over
us.
Like January, February, March, when it's like difficult times and all
difficult
that.
Times,
we've had like breaks. We've had Dubai.
You
know what I mean? They've had it lucky, really, haven't they?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. They were able to go away to Dubai, freshen up a bit, come back.
A bit of sun
as
on
I
the
said, be working on things, and we're seeing. I've just been, as I said, Martin Odegaard has really impressed me recently. Him and Saka have been the two standouts for me.
And I will say this, you know what I mean? You've got to give Mikel Arteta a bit of praise and all that. Like I've said it before, very, very fortunate to still have been a job after last season and a few of the results this season. But he is now doing really, really well. And the problem is that, you know, and I get that when people turn around and go, yeah, well, we're expected to beat Watford. Yeah, we're expected to. And I think for Mikel, I think that game against Liverpool is a real big one for him. If he can win that game, that would put a few doubters little rest.
I think,
and myself as well.
Yeah,
I'd say, do you know what, you're the real deal now, Mikel.
It's the type of game that if you win, everybody, the fans and the players, starts to believe that, hey, you know what, that top four, especially as I said, the little predicament that could Chelsea be drawn back into it? Going back on the Chelsea thing, they're in third at the moment. Let me just have a look at that table at the moment. They're in third at the moment on 53 points. They played a game more than us. So let's just say we won our game in hand. I know it's against one of them, right? We'd be 2 points behind them. And we still got to go away to the bridge and play them and that. But I think that bit of turmoil now that's been added with all this still, you know, Chelsea travelling away in, you know, economy instead of first class and those sort of things.
I mean, they might have to be driving up there in their cars, wouldn't they? Like, but petrol's dear as well, wouldn't it? Like, I mean, so they could be in trouble here.
But, you know,
get the bikes out, Chelsea!
All jokes aside, I mean, you know, these things have an effect. Listen, it has an effect.
They'd be out staying in a hotel, but instead of having their own rooms, they might have to double up, mightn't they? Like,
but these things, you know, all the chatter around it has an effect on the players. So it's a big weekend for Chelsea, and then next week's a big week. Obviously, really tough week as well. I mean, the next 3 games: Leicester, Liverpool, Villa away.
All tough.
We come through that looking decent. I start to become very confident in the top 4.
Well, I will know if we can come through those games. Look, listen, I'd bite your
7
hands
points.
I'd bite your hands off for 7 points. I would absolutely bite your hands off for 7 points. Stay unbeaten in those 3 games would be very, very good as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I'll be honest. So, but look, imagine if you beat Leicester, right, and then you were to beat Liverpool, that would put a big, like the Spurs, Liverpool supporters, West Ham supporters were going, oh, they'll lose that game.
Yeah.
And you win that game, that's a big knock for them teams as well. And then you can go to that Villa game with confidence. Yeah. Wow, you know what I mean? Like, we'll all be looking forward to going to Villa Park. But if you lose to Leicester and lose to Liverpool, it's a different complexion. So that is why this game on Sunday is massive, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I always say, Robbie, home games, you look how we felt after we drew at Burnley. It was all down because it was a home game, you know what I mean? So get there, get the 3 points, and then you know, maybe in that game there, like, get a few of the players off rested for the Wednesday, like, you know. So I think I can't emphasise how much it was important that we got the result on Sunday at Watford, and how we get the 3 points in this one. Massive game. Fans have got to play their part as well, because I think you know, got to be patient. But I can't emphasise this is a big game.
I'm looking at next weekend after, you know, when we play Villa. I don't think Man United are playing that weekend. They don't play on the Saturday. They don't play because it's really an FA Cup weekend, isn't it? So even though Man United are out, but maybe whoever they were supposed to play is still involved. So, but Tottenham play West Ham as well at home, and we know that West Ham have given Tottenham problems. So, and we play Villa away. Obviously, very, very tough game for us as well. 12:30 on the Saturday. It's FA Cup weekend.
Yeah, is that why it's only there's only a few games being played?
There's only a few games being played, so probably Man United.
So Villa then really becomes a game that we could actually
one of our
games in hand.
It's one of them games where we could actually stretch out a lead if we say it was, you know, this is big week, and it's one of the only weekends where we it's almost like a Champions League week or Europa League week where we've got 3 games in the week.
Spurs have got West Ham that day, did you say?
Spurs have got West Ham next week.
So another one's going to drop points here.
Yeah.
Come on, you Hammers.
So come on, you Hammers. Right. So listen, I loads of talking points today. I want to find out from you guys as well. What have you made of this Chelsea situation? Does it mean now that this is good news for a team like Arsenal that has been, over the past couple of years, we've been through a lot of pain, but at the end of the day, we've been doing things right. We've been trying to be sustainable, right? And all those years when Arsene Wenger was talking about sustainability and that, right? And we were like, get Usmanov in. Was he right again, Arsene, right? And now, does this, you know, maybe not this year, maybe not even next year, but for the future, going ahead, say that Arsenal, you know, are going to be in a good position now because Chelsea are going to have to operate like a normal club. I want to hear from you guys. London is red as far as I'm concerned.
Always has been.
And it's always been, and it's getting even redder, right? And so, listen, would love to hear from you guys on that. And also, big weekend coming up. What would you guys think of the next 3 games? What would be a good point tally?
Yeah.
You know, out of those, you know, minimum point tally out of those next 3 games: Leicester, Liverpool, and Aston Villa away. Don't forget, Who Knows wins a prize pot of 10 grand this weekend. All right, so download the app. The link is in the description if you want to get involved in that. As I said, there's 3 guys there last week.
10 out of 10. That's incredible.
10 out of 10. They all, you know, by putting a fiver in, they all made nearly 2 grand each, or 1,600 and something each. So listen, it's a great bit of fun as well.
It's fantastic.
You see me and him battling away every
love
week, and I'm going to sort him out this week as well, guaranteed. Right, so you can clip that too.
Yeah. Right? Before we come on, he whacked me over the head because I was winning.
So it
was an accident, but he did it. I don't know if it was an accident, but
yeah, it was an accident. I meant to kick you in the knee. Thanks very much for watching. Right? Was you going to say
I love the game. I love the game. You actually get on there
and
when you're like Saturday, because we're not playing, it gives you an interesting game.
Yeah, it's great
fun.
I mean,
it's great fun.
Game. So yeah, get involved, and the link's in the description. Don't forget to subscribe here to AFTV. Thanks for everybody, by the way. We were nominated for Best Video at the Sports Journalism Award. We didn't win it, but it was great to be nominated.
Was it for the watch-along, wasn't it?
For the watch-along, yeah. So that was fantastic. But so don't forget to subscribe here, like the video, and we'll see you next week. Unless you're a Chelsea fan, maybe you
might be a City fan.
You might be on holiday. Or you might be a City fan. Or Newcastle. Yeah. See you next week.